So, sister, you speak of the figure of Father Kent. I don't think anyone can speak of St. Hubert without mentioning Father Kent. You go on to say maybe when that church was built, he was already there, because that's how powerful he is to the lives of the people of Alex, the people of St.
No
Hubert.
one knows any other priest other than Father King.
Is it the same with your case?
Yes, yes. I mean, hence I'm relating this story to say, when I started wanting to venture into religious life, that was the first person I saw. There were no sisters at that time. I think the Holy Cross sisters worked in Annex, but at the time when I was beginning to notice things and pay attention to things, they were no longer there. So I didn't have sisters around me for me to say, "Oh, I'm seeing."
These are my models.
I didn't have that.
So when you
Kent was my model.
So when you go to Father Kent, what does he say to you?
I didn't go to Father Kent's, funny enough. I went to there were two priests. There was Father Kent's, he had an assistant priest, Father Daniels. So that's the one I went to. He was African. I felt he was more approachable.
Yes.
So that's why I went to. I'll tell you why I did that. I felt crazy. I thought I'm crazy. I thought, why? Like I said, I was in this youth group. I never heard anyone talk about wanting to become a sister or a mom. Now, I was beginning to think about these things. I'm like, no man, but this is crazy. Why would I even start thinking about things that are overseas? Why am I finding these things when I'm reading these novels? So there was a lot of confusion in me. It was not an easy moment for me to just go and share this with anyone. But I felt with Father Daniels, I could relate with it because he was African, so I could express myself freely without having to put in the English, which I was not very comfortable with at that time. And when I went to him, actually before I even went to Father Kent's, in the youth where we would have moments where there would be visits to convents and all that. But still it didn't make sense to me. It
was just not there.
Yeah. It was not something that I was exploring at that time. But after I had gone to Father Kent's, to Father Daniel, when I went to him, I told him, please don't laugh at me. I have this desire that is making me feel like I'm going crazy. If you laugh at me, I'm going to walk out of that door because you'll be confirming that I am crazy. He looked at me. What are you on about? I told him. When I read this, I'm finding this, I'm coming across this. I don't know what this is about. But I think Father Daniel has also seen me come to church. I would attend Mass every Wednesday. We had at the parish Wednesdays Wednesdays are referred to as our parish days. So there's Mass there on Wednesdays, but we also have Fridays for Mass. But I prefer the Wednesday one because Fridays is associated with a lot of travel out because I walked.
In terms of the society.
Yes. My home was like the furthest end of Alex, whereas the parish was on the other side of the township. So if I am to walk, you can imagine if Mass is at 5, say 5:30, it finishes around 6:30. So around winter it means it will be very far. And for a girl my age to be walking alone was dangerous. So I would rather attend the Wednesday Mass than the Friday Mass. Sometimes like in summer I would, because then it would still be light. So he would see me come in. But though at that time I didn't say anything. So when I went to him this one Wednesday and said, "Hi, Father, I feel I need to this. He said, no, come see me next Wednesday. So we had that appointment. I went to see him before going for this. And he says, remember I said to him, you must not laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
When I told him what I was going through, he burst out laughing. You should have seen how I was ready to walk out of that door.
Yeah.
And he said, sit. But Father, you are laughing at me, so there must be something wrong here.
Mm.
He said, no. What you are talking about is something that is saying to me, you want to join the church in serving, because I was telling him, I want to do it. I want to make a difference in other people's lives and all. And he says, you are saying you don't want to do this by going overseas. Because the stories you were reading were making reference to things that were happening overseas. You want to do it here. And he smiles and he looks at me. I know exactly what to do with you. I know exactly what to do with me. I said, yeah. Come see me again next Wednesday. Okay, I come back. Yeah, I've made an arrangement for you to go visit the sisters in the park. Not that it made any sense. He took me there. I think I spent a weekend. I fell in love.
Where is this sister? Is this in Park Park? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never visited any other congregation.
This is
I got there and it was like, hallelujah, I've arrived.
Yeah.
This is how. You should have told me from the outset. I wouldn't have gone through all these things.
So maybe let's just pause it there. So you've entered Power Park. Again, I go back. People tend to think because we grow up in the Catholic Church, and our parents, when we tell them we want to go to the seminary, we want to join religious life, we want to be nuns, they become all happy. That's the perception that people think, that.
Yeah.
So it's something that our parents are proud of, that no, my son, my daughter is doing this, And so you spoke about this childhood, growing up, which was so difficult, and your father making sure that you are going to school and all of that. Of course, every parent from our background, the black background, they expect a return on investment.
Yes.
You are expected to be, the one who takes us out of this situation. And now here you are, you tell your parents, this is what I want to do.
All hell broke loose. Yo. My mom could have thrown me out of the house.
Really? The mom who prayed the devotion to the Sacred Heart?
I'm telling you. Because she wanted me to get a husband. She wanted Lawon first.
Yeah.
She would get a husband, a family, but most importantly, I must work to support her. Because they've done all this for me.
Exactly.
Yeah? Now it was payback time. So now I must go and work and help them take care of the other children. No one was interested in what I wanted. Yeah? But it became so bad, such that I had, like I said, I had an elder brother who at that time was studying medicine. And whenever I would ask for something, I would be told, sorry, I need to. There's no money at home. I'll leave it at that. My brother comes. When he comes, even that one that was hidden under the mattress would come out. And I remember this one time asking and saying, how much? Friday, this was Saturday. Yesterday, I was asking if I could get 50 rands. This I won't forget. I had a pair of sandals. They were only 50 rands. And unfortunately, they were now worn. So all I was asking 50 rands to get myself another pin. And I was told, sorry, there's no money. And the brother comes. You know, men, you men, you like your leg. He was into dickies at that time. He was, so he went out, did his shopping, comes back, comes in carrying all sorts of bags. So it's clear. He was given the money. So I asked Mom, how now? But yesterday I asked for, and you told me you don't have money. I said, why should I be bothered? You made your choice. You told me you want to become a sister, so you are going to be taking care of those sisters there whom I don't even know.
So how broke it got, sister?
Whereas this brother of yours is me to take care of. So why should I waste my money on you? I'm telling you, it was difficult. I say, you can call it or say they disowned you. Literally that. I could never ask for anything at home. My mom literally ignored me. I never existed in her life. You hear me always saying my mom, my mom, my mom. I learned much later that actually the two of them were calling my mom and dad were colluding in this, but because my mom was the louder one, she was the one. She was the one whom I was always hearing saying to me, "Not in my house, not when I'm still alive." But my dad would not say anything. In other instances, it would even be my dad who would then come in and say, "No, but Ma, maybe it's okay, let her." I remember if anyone who is close to me would tell you how much I love the hard body.
Yeah, the chicken.
Yes. I remember the one time I was at varsity at that time, writing exams, and my exams were one after the other, like sometimes 2 papers in a day, and all I was craving for was that chicken, just that chicken. So this one Sunday I phoned, and my mom was not there. My sister picked up, and I told her, "Hey," because at home that's our delicacy. So I asked, "Can you please get me scaftiniana for Monday, give it to her?" My dad worked not far from Wits University, so I knew he would arrange that logistic visit to me. The news reached my mom. So already the scaftiniana was packed somewhere. When she heard it, she was like, "That's my money, you know. She's not getting that, not in my house." My sister didn't know how to tell me this now. But sorry, you can't bring this to me. But it got to me because I phoned later again to say, "Hey, is Papa coming? I want to know when so that I arrange my time." She didn't have cell phones at that time. So I was told, "Hi, sorry, Mama, which means your mom is refusing." I was broken. But then anyway, my dad found, I don't know how he should talk to my mom, the scaffing found his. So for me, my dad was my rescuer, whereas my mom was the one who was always there. But it got so bad that I even contemplated running away from home, because you can imagine what it's like if every time you'd be told, why should I be bothered to you? I mean, I'm only 16, so that anything could have happened to me at that time. But looking at my other siblings, okay, life is fine, but when it comes to me, it's you'd even say these were not my parents. My mom especially, you'd say she's not my parent. And when I was contemplating running away from home, I remember having this in my head that, okay, I was trying to strategize, where do I go? And I was like, I was in streetwise at that time. I wouldn't know where to go. But a voice kept on saying to me, there's more to me than me ending up eating from dustbins somewhere or being on the streets somewhere. And that's what kept me at home. Because I thought, okay, maybe let me persevere this and through this. It will come to an end one day. I don't know when and how. But at the moment, this is the pain I'm feeling. And I feel the only way to relieve myself from this pain would be to just run away from home. Running away from home is not an option. But what the question that might come would be, so what helped me survive that whole time? I think I started falling in love with this this pain that I was having inside, this person that I didn't even know at that time. And it is this love that kept me going, that gave me the courage to withstand the ill treatment I was going through at home. I don't think that if it was not for that love, I would have survived it. Like I said, you can imagine being a teenager at that age. Anything could have happened to me. But I tell you, I remained steadfast in my prayers. I had this devotion to Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And that's what helped. It kept me going. It made me survive all this. But then, what brought things around now? My mom one day said, I had this friend now, because I was now at peace with the fact that, look, I want this, but it's not going to happen. So I had this guy whom we became very close with.
So this turnaround happens before you go to Papa?
Yes. So my mom looks at me and this guy together. She could not make sense of what's happening there. So she made up her own conclusion. She came to her own conclusions. And I remember this one time, the parish Father Daniel calling me, "Good to see you." Oh, okay. Yeah, your mom came and she was complaining. Complaining? What's the matter? Yeah, she says, no, let me not tell you. Come back next week, ask them to come with you so that she can say whatever it is that she wants to say. No, asking myself. Anyway, come Wednesday, all of us went for us. After us, we went to see Father Daniel. Father Daniel, ma, tell her what you told me. Yeah, Father. These days, she has this boyfriend. And yeah, I don't know what kind of a man is this going to be. She says she wants to keep him, but now she has a boyfriend. I had no clue what she was talking about. Yeah, Mina mama boyfriend. Yeah. Okay, if you say you don't have a boyfriend, you are pregnant now. Mama, I'm pregnant. Yeah. No, I'm not pregnant. Okay, if she's not pregnant, then she can go to the convent. Oh, okay. Father Daniel looks at me. And not good for you. I'm not pregnant. Yeah, let her go. If she's not, it was genuine. If she's not, let her go. Father Daniel calls me. When? What your mom is saying is it? Father, I don't even know what she's talking about. Okay, we phone the convent. Hi, Nkhensani. The parents are saying she can come. When can she come? I was given a week to prepare myself. Following week. It's 29 years now that I've been pregnant.
29 years.
Of pregnancy.
Yeah. What year was that?
1994.
Oh, okay. So, I like how you painted it so nicely for us, sister. Like I said, people will have different thoughts about when people want to join religious life, want to do like this. they think it's all sweet with the family side of things. But now you've already shown us that it also becomes a challenge, to your own family, you had to be disowned by your own man, and I can imagine how painful that was, feeling like you are not part of the family anymore because of what I spoke about. Parents always expect a return on investment. Yes, but now we are looking, forward to you being our child and all of that. So 1994, you go to Power Park.
That's when I
You entered for the first time. And maybe just one thing, in what I've said, it also shows the normality of our own lives, of your own life, before you became a sister. You had your own visions. You said, when you get married, you want such and such a husband. When you get married, you don't want a husband who will find you. So it shows that you had a normal life, and you look forward to your own future. But because God works, in mysterious ways, you find yourself where you are. So you go into Power Park, 1994.
I went running into you can imagine. I spent 4 whole years in limbo. That was the time after I had told my parents that I wanted to become a sister. As a matter of fact, whenever because I used to go to visit, I used to visit Power Park after.
You had told Father Tanya.
Yes, but at home, they didn't know that it was me, because my Nancy, my mom was not here, and I would tell them, no, the youth group has been invited, and so we're going to visit the sisters in Papa or wherever. So that would be my.
You get how moment, and that's how.
So for them, they were okay with it because it was not saying me. It was no, it's the youth group, so it's fine. Let it go. Meanwhile, for me, the fire was now like
getting hotter and hotter.
Because that was the time when I used to attend. They had inter-congregational novitiate. I mean, I was not even a postulant at that time. I was what you might refer to as a candidate.
Yes.
But the sisters were willing to let you come. So sometimes the one weekend that I would come, you would find that it's time for that session. So I would join the session.
So it's 4 years between your declaration to Father Daniel and entering the convent in Papa. Okay, and then the process of admission, you got there and you said, hey, I want to be a sister, or...
No, remember they already had a relationship with me.
Yes.
Because 90, I went and
so they
started. Yeah, so they were seeing me when I would come for these visits and what have you. And before I could enter, I had to write an application to request admission and all that, which is what I took with me when I was told I should come in. So they were, because remember, I only had a week to prepare. And remember, these are people who for 4 years did not want to hear anything. Now all of a sudden they're saying to me, go. So everyone is doing everything quick because they might change their minds.
They might change. So